Hello, 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 everyone. This is the Reverend Tanika Steens, the Mindful Coach, and this is Mindful Intentions, Nurture and Drive Your Business. Today, I have Cathy Nesbit, who is a health and wellness advocate and the founder of Cathy's Crawley Composters. This was established in 2002. Cathy Sprouters and Cathy's Laughter Club. She is multi-award winning environmental innovator who uses workshops and inspirational speaking to motivate people to live a more sustainable life. Don't we want to know how to be more sustainable? Well, we're going to find out from Cathy today. She is a certified laughter yoga teacher. And when I got on this call, she was already laughing. This made me laugh. I feel infected right now. She was appointed a laughter ambassador in 2017 by Dr. Matin Kataria and founder of Laughter Yoga. Cathy is an avid cyclist and gardener, and today she is my guest. Cathy, welcome to Mindful Intentions, Nurture and Drive Your Business. I know we read your bio, but tell us a little bit more of who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. My working title is Cathy Simple Solutions for Today's Challenges. Worm composting for worms for indoor composting, sprouts for eating, and laughter for overall health and wellness. Really sustainable things, as you said.
Yeah. Laughter is good for the soul. So how does this all tie in together, and how did you come to be this laugh guru and composter?
I know. Well, I'm the only laughter teacher.
I thought that was hilarious. I told my husband, I go, my guest today is going to be talking about worms. He's like, worms that you get out the ground? I said, yeah.
Yeah, worms that form along. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
So
I find this very interesting.
Thank you. It's the 20th anniversary of my worm. Yeah. So it really is an important kind of mission. I really think on purpose. I'm located north of Toronto. Largest city in Canada. And our landfill closed. And we started to export our garbage. 1,000 trucks a week. And I had a solution. I know. Wow. Indoor composting with worms. And it's the same idea. The worms are in a container. The worms eat all of that material. And their poop is the nutrient-rich soil. So we can grow more delicious nutrition. Such a beautiful mission and so important. So Toronto, 6 million people. Half living in condos. Without space to do outdoor composting. Yeah, so I was like, let's go. This is so beautiful. What I didn't know is I didn't So I just started thinking. And I didn't realize that people don't buy they buy what they want, and they don't want worms in the house. And we're all about convenience, right? And not worry about it. Yeah. But this is a beautiful thing for the planet. You know, to keep the material out of landfill, turn it into black gold. And we say ooh. But if we call it black gold, right? That's valuable. And it helps us grow more. We're healthier. About 10 years in, and I do. So about 2012. One worms in the house. And I was like, oh my gosh. Why do I care so much? And then I was introduced to laughter. Yoga. And I was like, laughter yoga. What's that? It's not doing yoga and laughing. But the yoga part is the deep diaphragmatic breathing. Have you ever heard laughter?
Yeah. Absolutely.
right?
It is. It's good for the soul.
Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. I love drugs.
Yeah. And it's natural.
Right? We get to be in charge of our own pharma. Versus cortisol when we're stressed. You know, thank you for allowing me my wonderful offerings. Both are important. The worm and the laughter. When we're in a mental health crisis, we can't care about anything but getting out of that stress.
Yeah. And I know that in the last couple of years, it's really come to the forefront. A lot of things that people pushed to the back, they had to face. And it's been tough. And now with people going back into society and being confined to the homes, it's a transition, and it's a lot to take on, especially for people that are used to routines and used to doing what they want, getting what they need, what they want, when they want it. And we've been limited. And so being able to reconstruct our minds and learn a different way of how to just be sustainable in our bodies is a beautiful thing. So thank you for bringing that today to talk about that, because I'm a mental health advocate as well. I believe that whatever we can do, because everything doesn't work for everybody. And that's what I love about this platform. There's something for everybody on some type of level that can gain some kind of knowledge or insight that can help them mentally, physically, and spiritually. And just to see your excitement, because I know myself, when I think about planning and working in the dirt, and I feel at one with nature, I feel at peace, and I feel well-rounded. And if I don't feel good, if I start playing in dirt, I'll water my plants, or I'll just stick my hand down in the dirt and play around with it. It makes me feel more connected. And it does something, it slows me down for a minute. And I think that most of the times we don't slow down enough to really see what the beauty of nature and things that we have around us that are sustaining us. Because who would think that worms could change the world, right?
I know. Then they've been beneath our feet this whole time. Like right there, just like the last I feel it's so interesting. When I talk to people about coming to a laughter club, people don't understand why they need to laugh. What are the benefits? Why would I employ the if laughter is the best medicine, we definitely have to do it to get the benefits. And just like the worms are right there on the ground, it's a solution sitting right outside our door. I think it's fascinating. I think the universe is a fascinating place.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, like you said, 1,000 trucks a day. Do we know how that is hurting the environment and just it's a lot. But then we have something that doesn't cost us anything, that's right there, that is available, right?
Yeah.
We have all that we need. We just don't know where to look for it sometimes.
Yeah, the challenge is the worm. Like it's that we're a society of convenience. And we hear the word worm. And we mean like they're meant to be outside. So that we want to bring them in the house. But it's so
I really love the fact.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, you froze up a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just think we need to reframe our mind. Like we get a belief, and then we get a belief, like, oh, worms belong outside. So we just need to shift things up a little bit. Change our mind.
Yeah. And I love the fact of the worms, because it makes me think of regeneration, to regenerate, because that's what worms do. They regenerate, right? And I learned that when I was in school. Like, that's one of the things that I learned about reproduction and worms and how they work. And it just reminds me of a renewal and a regeneration. And so the fact that you say to bring them inside the house, because a lot of times some people can't go out. And so to be able to learn how to do this inside your home, because you can now plant gardens in your home. You can now do these things inside your home. And I just think it's great because everybody doesn't know how to do this, but you've been tasked and gifted with this mission to be able to do this. This is your ministry.
Absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like
so. What do people?
I feel like I'm the head worm.
What do people think about this idea when you brought it about? What did they say? How did they respond?
Worms in the house? No. And it's really fascinating. I have a psychology. I love people. I'm so fascinated what makes people. And so it's not gender. It's not gender based. It's not gender. Oh, boys love worms.
Oh, boys love worms.
I'm meeting people as adults. Like somebody in the schoolyard, chased around by a worm. And so if you were, something happened when you were in childhood. Look at that as a solution as an adult. Yeah. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. It's so beautiful. And I've been in it for so long. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. I don't have business. Experience. I do now. 20 years.
I would say you do. Yeah.
I do feel divinely guided though. I get messages. I get messages. I flow along like the river. I have obstacles. What do I do now? I shift to the. It's really funny. What do they say? What do they say? Tell God your plans, and then they laugh. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Ha ha ha. Let's see.
Yeah.
How much do you want it, right? How much do you want it, right? Like, I want to do this. I want to do this. Going there, and then it's like, really? Let's see. And you get an obstacle put in your way. You want to do that? And just we get tested. I believe.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I believe the crazier and bigger the ideal is, that's more outside of what we can do personally, shows how God is divinely working in that. And then we do have the obstacles, like, okay, what are you willing to do? But do you really have to do anything? Because as you say, when these obstacles come, maybe that's a time to reflect and to see, okay, how is this going to work out? And when it works out, you're just like, see, it had nothing to do with me. This is supposed to happen. Or if it goes a different direction, then it shows you that, okay, this is the course we're supposed to take. I mean, how many people, because I think you mentioned it earlier, but let's go back to that. How many people have really been able to thrive off of this? Because it's helping your whole state, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, is the government behind you with this? Like, who is all involved with this operation?
So it's really it's a mom and pop shop. It's my husband and I, and I really want everyone. I do get asked. Everything. But I think. I really want everybody to have worms in every school. So we no longer have to trail. There's a garden on site. Right? So you use that beautiful soil on site. It's right there. Maybe salad, like maybe some green. In Canada, we import about 60% of our food. 60 because of winter. When our border closes, it's a problem. Our food is insecure. So this cuckoo time, it allowed a big pod. I know a lot of people. They're not diminishing that. It really did allow us. You know, what do we really want?
You know, what do we really want?
So at the beginning, I'm sorry.
So at the beginning, I'm sorry about.
Can you hear my
phone?
You're
fine. Can you hear my phone?
Yeah, so at the beginning, when we were in Canada, we were closed down for longer than other countries. Our schools were shut down.
Our schools were shut down for a long time.
So at the beginning, people were
at the beginning, people were phoning.
At home. We're at home. A project for the kids.
A project for the kids.
Nice. And then as it was longer,
and longer,
I think people started to think. Serious. Wow.
Wow.
What about our food?
Wow. What about our food?
We need to have a garden. We
What
need
do we need?
soil.
We need soil. What do we need?
Compost.
We need compost.
Oh, I heard something.
There's
about worm woman. Maybe
we
so,
yeah,
2020.
Is
that what they call you? They call you the worm woman.
They do.
They do.
And I wear that hat nicely.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like I'm like a worm. They have 5 hearts. Five hearts. They're very loving. Very exposed. You step on a worm, they get hurt. I feel the same. If you get hurt,
you know,
we don't have to be like so.
We don't have to be
all the time. We can be just nice and we can let our guard down. And just be people. Like just look at it.
Yeah, in our church, I've been looking at ways of really investing in community and doing something different outside of church service. One of the things, because we have some land, and one of the things that I really am looking forward to doing is starting a garden. We have one young lady in our church that does canning. And so I wanted her to help out with showing people how to do the canning, but we want to do some gardening. We want to show people how to garden, but do it inside their home as well. We want to do a community garden and then show people that they can do it inside their home. But when you came with this idea to me to come on the podcast, I was like, again, this is how I know things are divinely intervened, because this is something that I really believe that we could get kids involved, because I'm looking at getting some youth and helping them to see how they can make an impact on the world, locally and globally by, lessening their carbon footprint and being more understanding of the environment and understanding how we can use our resources that we have right in our own backyard, right? And so I definitely am excited, because even after this call, I want to definitely work with you on how we can implement something like this into our church and our community, because there's a lot of food insecurities.
A lot.
There are food deserts. It is so, when you look around and see that the nearest grocery store is 10 to 15 miles away, or you have to go to a dollar store where you cannot get fresh produce, where things have been sitting on the shelves forever, and this is the closest that you get to fresh food is in a convenience store, a dollar store. I think this would be something that would be life-changing for the people within our community. And so I am grateful that you are the worm lady, and that it is so, you're excited about it, and it means a lot. But not only that, but it not only helps with our wellness physically, but mentally, I think it puts us on a different mind frame of thinking that, wow, I don't have to worry about where my food is going to come from when I can grow it myself. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about when we get to this point of doing the gardening and the composting, how available is the seeds and the plants and the things that we need to be able to cultivate the gardens in and outside of the home?
The seeds for the vegetables.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, they're readily available. They really are. Yeah. And when we make the soil, people will ask me, "Are you a And I say, no, I'm a soil maker. So when we look at it, right? So when we look after the soil looks after the plant. And the worms create the nutrient-rich soil and food as the plants sow the roots there. The plants, they have this beautiful symbiotic relationship through their roots, like sugars and candy, so that they attract the microorganisms that are contained in the worm food, all kinds of bacteria, all kinds of life, so much. And then, so there's also a protective barrier in the compost. So it's like building the immune system of the soil. So most soil is inert because we've been doing monocropping. Like all of the large farms. And now our soil is dependent on the chemicals for the plants to grow. That's large agri. Right? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's one way of flowing. But when we go back to organic, rather than trucking the stuff, we use those scraps. They're not garbage. And you were talking about good and you feel. Here's why. When we garden, there is antidepressant microbes in the soil. So when we're connected without gloves, in there barehanded or barefooted, and we're touching the soil, there really is microorganisms. Gardeners are happy people. And when you're gardening, you're not on technology. You're not like texting. You're not like playing games or whatever. I don't have a cell phone. What? You know, and that's one of the we're so dependent on technology. It's a wonderful gift. And you know, we need to have barriers or boundaries around us.
Yeah. So how many worms would you say that you are using for your composting? How does that work?
So it's a container. Kind of a tote. You would have your bedding. So the bedding that we use could be leaf, straw cord. A little bit of soil, water, and then about a pound of worm. Red wiggler worms are the worms. 800 to 1,000 worms in a pound. They're cute little worms.
So
they're not that comes out when it rains.
Because that's what I was going to ask you. What kind of worms is it? And are you growing the worms? Are you creating the worms, or where do the worms come from?
Yeah, so there are several suppliers. There are lots of suppliers in the US. Canada, we have some challenges. Because you know they're heat-loving plants. So there's large growers. It's red wiggler worms. There are thousands of types. Red wiggler is the optimum. And they eat about half their weight.
You're gonna have to do a tutorial and show me how this works.
Yeah, I'm
seriously, because I definitely. Also, I'm very visual.
And I'll come and go.
Yeah, because I'm like, I need you to come and show us how this works, or a tutorial or something to show us how to put this together. Because I've had this vision for a while, and I think that where we are right now and everything that you're talking about, I'm so excited because I'm like, yes, this is, somebody gets it. And I mean, just to be able to show others how they can take something and invest their self in it without giving up a whole lot. I mean, you know, because you're going to gain from this, and it's going to help you, your environment, your community, your family, and I mean, it's helping our overall wellness. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about that, because I know how important it is to you and how excited you are about it. But now let's talk about how you came to become inspirational speaker and a motivator. Is that doing with the worm part of it, or was this something that came to be before? Because I know that it says in your bio that for 18-20 years you've been doing the composting, but then you were appointed an ambassador in 2017. So how long have you been doing the speaking and the motivation? Because I can definitely see how infectious you are.
I've been speaking since 2002. So I learned early on that is a great way to get the message out. So yes, I've been speaking. I've been laughing since 2012 and really bringing it. COVID. Like I've been diving really into learning about why laughter is so important. And then I bring that to, I have a 30 minutes of super fun stuff. I incorporate tapping, other healing modalities. Prime objective with laughter. Get out of stress and into joy. Yeah. Wherever you are, and you know, wherever you are in your life, laughter can benefit. You know, again, talking about drugs. Our brain requires 25% and the rest of our body is an opposite. It's a machine, the answering machine. Right. So when we're
how do you? I was just going to say,
our bodies right? So for sure, our brain isn't. But I love the example of ever lost your keys and you're like, right? When we're stressed, everything our brain, oxygen, blood, fight, flight, or freeze. When we're stressed, I really want people to care about the planet. But when we're stressed, we can't do anything about it except getting out of stress. So laughter brings us to the best.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny because I like to go outside at night. And I went outside one night and I was walking on the other side of my road and I was out there. Nobody knew I was outside. One of my daughters was in the kitchen and she was looking out the window. But you can't hear anything. Like you can hear noises, but you can't hear screams apparently. And so I'm standing out there and a car rides by and it's like, ah, and it's like really dark on our street. And I just froze. I told my husband, he said, well, did you have fight or flight? I said, I froze. I said, I couldn't run. I couldn't do anything. I said, I just froze because I was like, okay, what just happened? Because it came out of nowhere and they were being funny, some kids being funny, but I didn't expect that. And when that happened, my whole body like tensed up and locked up. And I was just like, oh my goodness. But then after I started thinking about it and I started to relax, I started laughing and I started laughing and I'm like, okay, that is funny because of how it frightened me and I didn't know what to do. And I said, because usually I always try to put myself in the situation. If this happens, how are you going to respond? And I told my husband, because he came out later and I go, oh my God, I was out here. And I said, I was terrified and I didn't know what to do. And I said, but then I started laughing because I was like, that's what you get. You're just out here. Nobody knows you're out here. Now you're scared. And I'm like, I just started laughing and I felt better. I wasn't scared anymore because and my body got intense, but it just immediately like locked up. And I was just like, and we were talking about it the other day. I told my mom, I was like, did I tell you about the car coming down the street and screaming at me? And I said, and I froze up. And so we all started laughing. And I go, it wasn't funny at the time. And it really did scare me. I said, but when I thought about it, and realized I'm at home, I'm right here. My house is right there. But what if these people jump out the car and try to get me? What am I going to do? You know, and I was like, I couldn't think of anything. But then the more I thought about it, I started laughing and I go, you are so silly because first of all, you probably should have told somebody you were coming outside. And next time you'll think about going outside when it's 10 o'clock at night and dark outside. And that you should be scared because you shouldn't have been out there with nobody knowing where you were. And I just started laughing, and I think about my kids and I go, yeah, I tell them to do stuff all the time that they don't do. And then they get in situations and we laugh about it because it's like, oh, well, now you see what happens. But laughter can change things, because I can tell you the way my body felt when I froze up, it was like it was locked. But as I started laughing, I could feel myself. So you're absolutely right. Laughter does change, but there's people that are in situations that they're always tense and they're always locked up, and they don't understand how to change that or how to disconnect from the feeling of fight, flight, or freeze response. And how do we get to that point?
Yeah, I think it really is. That we want to change. And as soon as we smile, we change our chemistry. Right? We send a note to our brain. Hey, I'm so happy. So you start with a smile. And then maybe you add a giggle. But attend a laughter club. And plan to attend more than one. Because whenever we do something new, it can be awkward. And laughter is no different. Laughing for no reason. Jokes or comedy. Yeah. You know, it's really I remember the first laughter class. I was with my mother-in-law. And we kept looking at each other. And after the class, that was weird. Well, I feel great. How do you feel? I feel great too. Yeah.
And you feel light. And you feel, I don't know, like you said, like flowing, like you're just flowing, and you're not tensed up, because a lot of times we are so in the right now trying to get to the next thing that we don't stop and take the time to just really enjoy our present moment. And so I think that that's good. So talk about what the class looks like. Like what are we expecting when we come to a laughter class?
Yeah, so in my club, as I said, I incorporate all these. Laughter goes with everything. So there's clapping. So you clap. There's a little mantra. And the clapping really helps us get out of our minds. For those that are really serious, that gives them something to do. Rather than just laugh, everybody. Which we could do. But it's deep diaphragmatic breathing. So deep. Through the nose, out through the mouth. Gentle movement. And little games. So we're connecting. It's a cardiovascular workout. Believe it or not, like ever hurting and your belly's hurting. Those are the laughter muscles.
Yes.
Right? And I talk about the brain. I talk about the brain. Because you're exhaling. You have to. At a certain point, you have to take a nice So you can continue ha-ha.
Yeah. Huh.
And then at the end of a class, meditation. You're all connected. And then you just laugh for a minute or two. Full on. And then you just sit and do deep breathing for a couple of minutes. And just sit in that floaty energy. Oxygen through your whole body. All the drugs. And you just feel like it's like bliss. It's like bliss. Feeling for a few moments.
Yeah. A lot of times people feel like, well, you just can't live in bliss. You just have to. And who says you can't? I mean, see, I'm really a firm believer that we are what we make ourselves to be, right? And if you choose to be uptight, then you're going to be uptight. If you choose to have tension, you're going to have tension. But again, like I said, the other night when that happened to me and I froze, I could have stayed there in shock, right? But then I started thinking about it and I started laughing. And I'm like, you know what? Laugh and get over across the street to your own home. But I didn't run in the house and was like, oh my God, this just happened. And it was the end of the world. I came in and I'm like laughing, like, okay, this just happened to me. And I had to think about it for a minute. And I think that when we take the time out, a lot of times we feel like we don't have the time. And someone did tell me earlier, we all have the same time. We all have 24 hours in a day. It's what we do with that time, right? And so why don't we invest the time that we take to make sure that we're okay mentally and physically, and to put ourselves in a good position to where, hey, I need to take a time out and I need to just breathe for a minute, or I need to just laugh. And I say sometimes, and it wasn't laughter, but I would be like, sometimes you just have to stand in the middle and go, ah. And you said that you say, ha, ha, ha. When you're letting that out, you can feel a release.
Mm.
And sometimes we got to let things out. We got to let it go, right?
That was a great strategy that you did. Animals, we have this frontal lobe. Animals, right? So let's say a rabbit. If the rabbit gets away, it goes somewhere where it's safe. And animals do that. They shake. They get that trauma out. And they get on with their day. They don't hold it. We go. And we tense up. And we don't do anything. We're like, okay. But what you did, you laughed. You let it out. You said it. You just felt more relaxed. Exactly what happened. Beautiful.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. My little grandbaby, he woke up and he's over here laughing and clapping. And he's like laughing and laughing. And it's so hilarious because, why? My husband and I look at each other and we're like, where does he learn that at? And it's like, we don't ever question where they learn to cry, right? We don't question where babies or humans learn to cry. But if somebody's laughing, something's wrong with you. Why are you laughing? Why are you so happy? Where did you get that laughter from at such an early age? And I started thinking about that and I go, nobody teaches us how to laugh or to cry. But how do we know which emotion to use? How do we know that this is a happy laugh and a happy cry at the same time, But babies, it's just so pure when you see it and they're clapping and they're laughing and they're happy. And God tells us to be like that, right? The word tells us.
It's our birthright to be happy. It's our birthright. Kids know, and then life happens, and we get all in our head, and we prepare. I mean, I believe it's our birthright to be joyful and live a bit. Why would we put on earth struggle? It doesn't make sense.
You're absolutely right, because I believe that the word is true and it says he wants us to live life and live it in abundance, right? But how we live it in abundance? Are we going to live it in abundance of debt, an abundance of loneliness, an abundance of hurt and sad? Are we going to live it in abundance of love and peace and joy and the fruits of the Spirit that we're told? If we did that, we need more people to come aside us and say, hey, I get it, and let me show you the way. But sometimes people keep things to themselves when they know it. But the people that have the real joy, like yourself, they want to share. And they want others to share in that. So I'm grateful that you are bringing this to us because, again, like I said, everything doesn't work for everybody. But there are different things that can reach people right where they are to say, hey, let me try that. And that's why we have different options, and that's why we have different opportunities, and we're put in different places to be able to learn. And like you said, if we're doing the same thing over the same way, we're not going to get anything different. But when we say, aha, let me try this, it may sound kooky or crazy, but what if it works for us?
Let's see. Yeah.
Sir. Now he's looking at me like, what? What am I doing wrong? You're not doing nothing wrong. I told you anything might happen. But so where do you see this going in the next couple of years as far as the composting and the laughter?
Well, at the moment, I'm being called to bring the laughter big time. Schools, organizations. You know, it's the requests that I'm getting. It's how people are finding me. As I said, if you're in that before you can care about that. I will continue. I'm working actually on a stand-up show about the word. So I will continue talking about
I'm teaching him how to do this now, and he's like,
"Oh, it's all good."
So you go in the elementaries, middle schools, high schools. Who are you speaking to?
I'm speaking to corporations to help them, happier employees, or productive. They're they connect better in better ideas. More money for the company. More money for the company wants that.
I did a segment on burnout in companies, and I know that burnout is a really big thing. Even since COVID and everything, the last couple of years, people have been burnt out. They've been like doing these routines again, and in the companies, they have been depressed and committing suicide and all kind of things. And so I think that is very, very crucial to have something like that in the workplace. Definitely.
Yeah, there's tons of opportunities.
Yeah, they'll do team building and different things like that, but they don't really show you other tools to use to help you throughout the day and to be able to reconnect with your inner self and to be able to function in a daily routine. So that's awesome.
Self-love is absolutely, self-care is absolutely self-love. It's not selfish. We do have to care about our beautiful people.
Absolutely. Because that's all we've got, right? That's all we've got is this temple until we don't have it anymore. And so we've got to take care of what we've got so that we can be sustainable. And I believe that we can live long, healthy lives when we are breathing, because that's what gives us life, right? When we're laughing, that's what gives us joy. When we're loving, that's what keeps us connected. You're awesome.
You're awesome. We're awesome.
Absolutely awesome. So if someone wanted to work with you or to learn more, look at him, or to learn more about what they can do to be more happy and to be more sustainable, what do they need to do to connect with you?
I would love people else. Cathy'sClub.com is my laughter page. And I really would love to invite everybody to come to my birthday club. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. 30 minutes on Zoom. It's super, no experience required. Hopefully people have their camera on because it is looking at each other, connecting. Come and play.
Yeah. I definitely am going to come and join one of your classes because I love to be able to learn new things so I can teach others. And, a lot of times people get scared of new stuff and they don't understand. I know that Jesus, when he came, he went and he spoke to everybody and he learned from everybody so he could be able to know how to discern and rightly divide the word and reach the people with what they need. And a lot of times things don't look like what we think it should look like because it's not what we would call normal. But what is normal? There's nothing that is normal unless it works for you. If it works for you, then it's normal. And so we've got to find what works so that we can make the world a happier, more loving, more caring, nurturing place. We have to be mindful of our intentions so we can drive our business, right? So absolutely. I definitely think that that's something that I can add to my resources as well in helping the people that I help and reach out to, because everybody's not into church. Everybody's not into yoga. Everybody's not into a lot of things, but people can learn to laugh, right?
Absolutely.
They can learn to laugh. There you go. All right. Well, Cathy, what else is it would you like to talk about or share before we jump off of here? We've been on here for 45 minutes and I've learned a lot of good things, and I feel like I'm pumped up and energetic and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage people to add laughter to their daily repertoire. If you can laugh on your own, very good. If you need assistance, there are clubs around the world. There are laughter clubs in over 120 countries. It's a global movement. Dr. Terrier's goal is world peace through laughter. Can you imagine when we're laughing? We're connected, we feel good, we're high five. Yesterday or tomorrow, we're right now. Totally present.
Yes. Totally present. And we need to be more in the present, because once it slips away, we can't get it back, right?
Yeah.
So let's learn to laugh. Yeah.
We're only here.
Yeah. We're only here. Reach out to Dr. Cathy, the laugh doctor and worm lady. I love it. All right. Well, I definitely am going to be connecting with you more to learn more about the laugh yoga, and also to learn more about the composting, because I definitely, like I said, want to incorporate that into what we're doing within our community and our church. But I definitely, anytime you want to come back and share some more laughter tips, or either just give any kind of inspiration, you are more than welcome to do so. We love to have you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. Thank you.
So grateful. Thank you. And I'm grateful as well. Well, everybody, I hope you were able to tune into this live. If not, it will replay on the podcast, and it is going to be streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So go on YouTube and like and share, add a comment, ask some questions. We will answer those questions for you. If you would like to learn more about Cathy, you can find a link on our website. We are updating that and getting our resources connected. So that way, if you can't find her through social media, because I'm sure you will be able to find her out there, but there will be a link on our webpage as well, yourfullmindlife.com. So check us out. And we thank you for tuning in today to this show with Cathy Crawley Composter and Cathy Sprouters and Cathy's Laughter Club. Go check her out. Join one of the classes just to find out what you're missing in laughter. And maybe it's for you. Maybe it's not for you. But try something. If you haven't laughed in a while, maybe you need to try it. Maybe that's what's wrong with your life. Maybe you need to get some laughter in your life, and it'll bring some more sunshine. And even when it's raining, you can laugh, right? It's always something to laugh about. Good or bad, you can figure out a way to laugh through it, right? So we thank you, and we appreciate you for your time, and much blessings to you and all you continue to do and making this world a more sustainable, laughable place. Thank you, Cathy, for joining us today. And thank you, everybody else, for watching. We'll have another show at 3 p.m. And we are going to be meeting with a prophet. So stay tuned. You never know what you might get when you mind your business. Until then, remember, as always, you are created with a purpose. Now, go be great.